everybody, and welcome back to yoga. Thank you so much for coming. So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to put the video on pause, maybe turn on some music, grab a strap, and some blocks. I'm not sure if we're going to need them, but you might want them. So I hope everybody is doing well and feeling healthy and staying okay during this coronavirus quarantine. So let's just get right into it. Please close your eyes. Sit up nice and tall. Start to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Pull the belly in. Moving the body around right now, the upper body, in a way that feels good to you. Maybe the neck comes down to the chest and then up, and then down, and then up. Move the head side to side, right, then left. Make circles. Just start to move the head, the neck, the shoulders, the upper body in a way that feels good. A couple more breaths like this. And then come to a steady seat. Softening the breath, becoming aware of your body, where it is and how you're feeling. Slowing down the breath. Inhaling to a count of 4. Exhaling to a count of 4. Again, inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2. Let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that exhale. And inhale again for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1, 2. Inhale. On your own breath here. Let's get 3 more of these. And then slowly open the eyes and come forward, folding over the legs. Nice long spine. Drop the head. Breathe into any tight spaces as you walk over to the right. And then come through center, walk to the left. And then back to center. Walk the hands back towards the shins. Switch the cross of the ankles. Okay, if this bothers your knee or your back or any part of your body, you can just modify it how you need to. If you're unsure how to modify a certain pose, shoot me a message. Most of you have my text, my cell, certainly my email. You could leave a comment. But I'm not sure I can return the comment. I don't exactly know how to work all the features of YouTube. It requires a little bit of signing in and stuff, and I'm not quite sure how to do that. Come over to the right, believe it or not. I'm not that tech savvy. I guess I could ask my kids. And then walk to center again, please. Over to the other side. Feeling what you feel, allowing yourself permission to feel these things. It feels good to feel your body come back to center, moving in all different directions. Feeling yourself, knowing you're challenging your body, knowing you're challenging your mind. Walk the hands back, and let's come right onto hands and knees, please. Feel free to pad your knees with a blanket. I somehow lost my blanket. Oh, there it is. Let me grab that. We're going to come into some cat-cows. If you know it, go ahead and do it. I'm going to take my blanket. So we're inhaling, gazing forward, belly dips down. Exhale, round the spine to the ceiling, tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. from this tabletop, let's just take that right leg, bring it between our hands, come into this low lunge. So sink forward into that front leg. This is where blocks might come in handy if you're feeling it. Bring the blocks on either side of that leg and just sink the body down as you lift the heart up. Keep the hands down on something. So if you want to keep the hands on the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, you can bring them on blocks. Okay, curl the back toes in and lift the knee and sink the hips down even more. So we're slowly opening up the hips here, opening up the hip flexors. Feel it on the top of that back leg. Drop the knee, sink forward, lift the arms up. Palms touch. And then exhale the hands down. Now we're going to take this right leg, we're going to bring it back to our tabletop, and we're going to switch sides. Left foot's going to come forward, sink into that front leg. Okay, we're sinking forward. Again, on blocks or not. Now curl the back toes in, lift the back knee, sink those hips down, feel an even more intense stretch. Still early in our practice. Drop the knee, sink forward. We're going to lift the arms up. Big inhale, reach the fingertips up, palms touch. And then exhale the hands down. Move the blocks, bring the hands to the mat. Left foot comes back into your tabletop. And we're back at tabletop. Good. I'm going to move up. Right foot comes back, please. Curl the toes, reach out through that back heel, gaze forward. Now take your left hand, move it underneath your face. Middle finger points to the front of the mat. Spin the back foot down, open up your heart. Top arm reaches to the ceiling. Press into the pinky toe side of that back foot. Feel the stretch. I happen to feel it over my hip and in my side body. I feel a little underneath here. It really depends on where you're tight. Now take the top hand, reach it towards the front of your room, gaze forward, and then lift the back leg, no more than hip height. So it looks something like this. Drop that foot, arm reaches back up, and then return to tabletop. Now we're going to do the other side. Left foot comes back. Curl the toes, gaze forward, reach that heel back. Pull that belly in. Take the right hand, move it underneath the face, spin the back foot completely down onto the mat. Press into the pinky side of that back foot. Opposite arm reaches up. Gaze up. That shoulder is tracking over the wrist. Keep the belly nice and tight. Top arm now comes across for the front of the room. And when you're ready, lift the back foot, reach out through that heel. So you're pressing that heel towards the back of the room like you're trying to step on the back wall. And your gaze is now to the side of the room. Okay, drop the foot, drop the hand. Make your way into child's pose, please. So you're going to bring the tops of the feet into the mat, spread the knees as wide as the mat, sink your seat back down onto your heels. Keep your chest forward as you walk your hands forward. Drop the head down. Breathe into this. This is a nice stretch along the shoulders, the upper back. Couple of more breaths here. For me, this is feeling really good. And then we're going to come back to tabletop, please. Making our way back to tabletop. I'm just going to turn myself around. I like to practice towards this part of my mat. All right, bring your right foot back, then your left, and come into plank pose, please. Top of a push-up, plank pose. The hips are about in line with the shoulder. Right? That's too low if you're looking at me, and that's too high. Gaze forward, reach the heart forward, reach the heels back. Pull the belly in, and then press it back to downward facing dog. So 5 breaths here in down dog, however you want to go for it. I always like to jog out the feet in the beginning. Pressing the chest towards the thighs. Nice long line of the spine. And then float back to plank. Drop onto the knees. And we're back in our tabletop. We're going to take that right foot. We're bringing it forward again. Just like we did before. Sink forward into that front leg. Inhale the arms up. This is a low lunge. Bring the hands through the heart center. Take that left elbow to the outside of that right leg and take a twist. If you would like, you can curl the back toes, lift the knee, takes it a little into a balance here. But you do not have to do that. If the knee's lifted, go ahead and drop it. Keep the twist. Release the twist. Sink those hips forward again. Arms reach up. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Open the heart up towards the ceiling. And sink even more forward into that front leg. And then arms back up. Hands down. Come back to tabletop. Make your way back to downward facing dog. I always like to start with a plank. And then press myself back. Feel free again, jog out the feet. Keep reaching the heart and the chest towards the thighs. Shake the head. Come back to plank. And then hands and knees. And then let's go for the other side. So we're bringing that left foot forward. Sinking into that front leg. Sinking forward. Inhale the arms up. Whoopsie. Palms touch. Bring the hands through heart center. Actually, I'm going to turn around this way so you could see me. Hands through heart center and take the twist. Right elbow. Notice how I push my leg and turn myself, then place my elbow. You don't have to do that, but for me, that's the best way for me to get into this twist. And if you would like, curl the toes, lift the back knee, keep reaching out through that back heel, rotating the body. Drop the knee if it's lifted, keep the twist. Release the twist, arms reach up. Now bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers just like we did before. Open the heart up, reach the knuckles towards that back ankle. And hinge forward. And release the arms up. Bring them down. Back to tabletop, please. I'm going to turn around. We are meeting in downward facing dog. Come through plank. Press back. Downward facing dog. So move the blanket out of the way if you have it on your mat. Walk your hands towards your feet and fold over. Big ins, big outs. Folding forward. Now take an inhale. Press your hands into your shins. Gaze forward and flatten that spine. And then exhale, fold. And then we're going to rise up. Inhale, rise up. You're at the back of your mat. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Let's fold over in a sun breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Listen to my cues here. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands on the mat. Walk back to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Try to find a little stillness at this point. Keep reaching the heels back, not necessarily down. Chest reaches towards the back of the room. Your gaze is between your ankles or your shins. Now you're going to walk your feet towards your hands. Feel free to bend the legs. That's fine. Now you're at the front of the mat, the top of the mat, folding over. Take an inhale, hands come to the shins. Gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over. We're rising up. Inhale, rise up, top of the mat, palms touch. And then exhale the hands back around. Great job. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Follow my cues. Inhale, gaze forward, press into those shins. Exhale, bend the knees, hands come to the mat, right foot steps back. You're rising up into a high lunge. Feel steady on those feet. Hips and shoulders are squared forward. Reach the arms up on your inhale. And stay. Stay and breathe. Now exhale the hands down, right hand stays down. Sink the hips low. Peel open for a twist. So the twist comes from the ribs. Now that left hand, bring it down on the inside of that front foot. Both hands are on the inside of the front foot. Sink those hips low. Keep the knee lifted for now. Gaze forward. Drop onto that knee. We're going to come into lizard pose. So if you have the openness in your body, you can drop the forearms down onto the mat. Otherwise, if the forearms are lifted, use blocks, please, and use two, unless you only have one. Make sure that you're using two blocks if you have them, one under each arm, or if you can get the elbows down. But if you get one elbow down and not the other, then I would love you to use blocks. Drop the head. Try to keep that left knee glued in toward the left shoulder. Come on up out of your lizard. You're going to take your left toes, point them to the left. Right hand stays down. Left hand comes on the inside of that thigh. And open up to the side. I know you probably can't see me because of the way that camera angle is. Hopefully you got it from my words, or you take my classes and you know what I'm doing. Well, release that. Left hand comes back on the opposite side of that front foot. We're going to press it back to plank pose. We're going to press it back to downward facing dog and stay. Now we're going to take our hands, walk them back to our feet, folding over. And we're rising up. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. And exhale, the arms around. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, prepare your spine and gaze forward. Exhale, we're planting our hands on the mat. It's okay to bend the knees, walking forward, back to downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Now gaze forward, lift the head. We're walking the feet towards the hands, folding over. And then rising up. Inhale, palms touch, gaze up, and then exhale the hands back around to heart center. And then let's go ahead and do the other side. Inhale, arms around and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, bend the knees. The left foot comes back this time. Make sure you're on railroad tracks. Not a balanced beam. Pull the belly in. Really engage that core. Rise up. Find your lunge, your high lunge, Alana. Inhale the arms up. Staying and breathing. Sink those hips down. Feel the power in your feet. Exhale your hands down. Sink the hips. Left hand stays down, right arm peels open. Keep those hips low, okay? Try not to do that. You just get more out of it. But if this is where you're at, then go for it. I don't want to say you can't do something. You know your practice. Right hand comes down on the inside of that leg. Shimmy that left foot back a little bit. I always like to create a little more space and just sink the hips down. Keep the knee lifted. Sink the hips down. Now we're going to drop onto that knee, coming into lizard. So if your forearms comfortably reach the mat, see for me on this one, it's a little iffy. I can get my right forearm down, but I feel like I'm straining myself. So I'm going to use my blocks. And I use 2 blocks, even though my left arm goes down, no problem. 2 blocks, one under each arm. Drop the head. Try to keep this right knee glued into the shoulder. And if you're interlacing your fingers, loosen the grip a little bit. Unclench the teeth. Try to soften the breath. And then come on out of your lizard. Move the blocks. Okay, now we're going to take our right toes, point them to the right. Left hand stays down. Right hand comes on the inside of this right thigh. Open the heart up towards the ceiling and press the thigh away. And then release that. We're going to simply lift the back knee, pop up to the front of the mat, fold over, and then inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale the hands around and up. Really good. Okay, so let's step it back with the right foot, please, and we're going to come into a warrior one. So you're stepping back with that right foot. The back foot is about 45 degrees forward, hands on the hips. Turn the hips forward. Sink into that front leg. Inhale the arms up. Really press that back leg back. Lift that thigh. Come into goddess arms. So elbows at shoulder height and lift the heart. And then come back up. Inhale the arms back up. Hands come to the waist. To the heart, to the waist. Pivot on this back leg. Now you're back in this lunge. Okay, we were just there. You're going to simply pop to the top of the mat. And we're going to do the other side. Step back with the left foot. Find your warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Turn the hips towards the front of the room. I'm not going to be as squared because it hurts my knee. I'm having left knee problems. It hurts my knee to pivot my body like that while my knee is steady. So I'm not going to be as square to the front as you will be. Inhale the arms up. And this is how I maintain my practice through injury. You modify as you need to. Otherwise, you just won't be able to practice at all, and that's just not an option. So, goddess arms, tip back, squeeze those shoulder blades together, belly is tight, release that, arms up, hands through heart center, to the waist, pivot on the back foot, and now you're in a lunge again, and then pop back up to the front and shake it out. All right, so I'm going to face you now. We're going to take a balance pose. And I'd like to do a figure 4. So spread your legs a little bit. You're going to take your right ankle over the left knee and flex that right foot. Draw this right knee. Ooh, I'm falling back. Okay, so you feel a little opening here. So you can stay here for a balance and find something to stare at in front of you that's not moving. So I don't recommend looking at the video. You can follow my voice. If you're going to go a little bit further, bend that standing leg. Bring your hands to your waist. Bend that standing leg and sort of sit into this pose. And you'll feel it on the outer right hip. So this is a perfectly good place to stay. It's a balance, plus you're getting a little bit of hip action. If you want to go a little bit further, bring the hands down to the floor and try to straighten that standing leg. You can also hold on to the leg with one of your hands, because when you straighten it, it might fall. So any of those variations, you can do this in the half lotus if that's in your practice as well. We're kind of going beginner level right now with some options. So if you're folded over and you're holding the leg, release the leg, bend the knee a little bit. Start to move your drishti, your gaze, a little bit forward. Feel steady in that standing leg. Engage your core. Slowly rise up to stand. Straighten the front leg. Find some steadiness before we remove the right ankle and drop it down. All right, well done. Spread the legs out a little bit and let's just do some exaggerated hula hoops. We're doing a lot of hips. And other side. Okay, now you know where we're going. So find what works for you. And it does not have to be exactly what you did on the other side. Okay, each side is different. So we're going to balance on the right leg now. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. Okay, so you're making like a figure 4. Stay here if this is where you're at. Balance, stand up tall, play around with the hands. You can lift the arms. Okay, whatever feels good. If you want a little more, bend that standing leg. Chest comes forward. I like to hold on to the ankle as I sit low, so I feel it in the outer left hip. And then we're going to fold over. So slowly change your focus to by your feet, not your foot, but by your feet. Folding over. You need to hold on to the foot so that it doesn't fall. Go ahead and do that. Drop the head. Always, always, always coming back to the breath. All right, we're going to start to make our way up. So release the foot if you're holding onto it. Both hands on the mat, gazing forward. So you're straightening your spine. You're going to slowly rise up, pull in the belly, and then straighten the leg. Hands to the waist. Stay steady first before we come out of it. And then left knee lifts and drops down. Spread those feet again. Some more hula hoops just to kind of get the juices flowing. They're already flowing, but a little counter pose, counter stretch. Okay, feels good. So while we're here in this wide-legged stance, let's open it up a little bit more. Wide-legged forward fold. So open the legs up. Take a little check here. You want ankles under the wrists, you know, give or take. It's a good place to start. Make sure that your feet are pigeon-toed very slightly. Okay, so heels out slightly, big toe in slightly. Hands to the waist. Take an inhale. Gaze up. When we exhale, we're folding forward. Sit bones reach back. Chest reaches forward. Okay, I'll turn to the side so you can see me. Okay, like that. Then we're folding over. I gotta bring in a different mat here because I'm slipping. All right, you guys can see me, right? So fold over. You don't know this, but I have 3 yoga mats laid out in this room for my husband, myself. The dogs like to lay on one while we're practicing. So bend the elbows if they bend. Bend them back through the legs, not to the side. If you want to grab the ankles, that works too, and you can pull yourself in more. This is a total let go pose. So just let the head go. You shouldn't be holding onto the weight of the head at all. Okay, so bring the hands back to the mat. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine and gaze forward. Good. Now we're going to take, oh, my mat is sliding, I'm so sorry. Now we're going to take our right hand, bring it underneath our face, or of course, you can take a block, put your hand on the block, and we're going to take a twist. Okay, I have my hand on the block here so you see, but if you don't want the block, bring your hand on the floor. Nice twist coming from the ribs. Now let's do the other side. Again, you may want the block on this side, even though you didn't have it on the other side. Each side is different. Honor your body and where it's at. Right? There's no ribbons in yoga. There's no trophies. Right? The trophy is the change that it brings in your life, which is real. I can attest to that. It really is real. And then release, fold over again. Feel steady in those feet. Take an inhale, bring your hands to your waist, lift your head. Exhale, inhale, rise up. And then heel toe, the feet back together. Shake it out a little bit. Okay, so let's come into a squat pose. Since we're working on the hips, let's continue to work on the hips. Malasana. So feet are about outside hips distance, toes are pointed out. Bring your hands to your heart center. I'll give you modifications for this. You're going to sit down. I got to put my feet a little closer. You're going to sink your seat. So you see how my seat is down? If this does not work for you, handy dandy block, sit on it. Okay? Any height, sit on it. So you want to have a nice long spine. See, my spine's nice and long. I'm hunched over like this. That doesn't work out. You want to be nice and long. So just stay here for a couple of breaths. Keep reaching the heart forward. You could take your elbows and draw them apart. That opens up the legs. Nice groin stretch. All right, now I'll turn towards you. We're going to take a twist. You also, I should have mentioned this, I'm sorry. You want to make sure that the heels are completely on the mat. So if you can't be like this without the heels lifting, take a blanket, put it under your heels so you're supported, or do something so that the heels are connecting with something. We're going to take a twist now. You're going to take your right hand, bring it completely down. See how it's nice and extended? I've got my shoulder down on the inside of my knee as best as I can. Open that arm up, fingers point out. Take a twist. Come back to center. Regroup for a breath. And we'll do the other side. So you're going to bring that shoulder as far down into that knee as possible. Keep that hand down on the mat. And then open the opposite arm up. And then come back to center. Really nice. Now we're just going to bring our hands down. Straighten the legs. Point the toes forward and just fold over a little counter stretch here. And then just heel toe the feet together. Come and sit down on the mat. Stretch those legs. Okay, feel free to sit on a blanket if you like. Toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Paschimottanasana. Grab hold of the toes or the ankles. It doesn't really matter. Just grab something. Inhale. And then exhale, fold and surrender into the pose. And then slowly release that. Bend the right leg up. Turn it to the side, Janu Shirshasana. Make your adjustments. You're sitting on an angle. Take an inhale. Exhale, turn and reach. Let's keep that left hand holding whatever it's holding. Open that right arm up. Another nice open twist here. And then release it, fold over. And then switch sides. So just go right into the other side and make your adjustment. Inhale up. Exhale, turn and reach. Folding forward, grabbing the leg or the foot in the same spot with both hands. Keeps the shoulders in line. Now keep that right hand down. Open up that left. Take a nice open twist here. And release, fold over. Release that. Bend both knees up. Give yourself a squeeze. Come and lie down on the mat. Okay. So, come into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet to touch. Right knee to the right, left knee to the left. Okay, this is another hip opener. They should feel pretty good because we've been doing nothing but hip openers. Inhale the arms up overhead. Take the right wrist with the left hand and reach, reach, reach back. And then switch sides. And then release the hands down. Inhale the arms up overhead again. Exhale them back in a big circle. One more time. Inhale them up. Exhale them in a big circle around. Come to rest on the hips. Now bring the hands to the outsides of the thighs. Bring the knees together. Hug the knees in, please. And then drop both knees over to the right. Left arm comes out to the side. For a little supine twist. Come back to center. Readjust yourself. Hug the knees in. And drop them over to the left. I always have to bump my hips to the right. I bump my hips the opposite direction that my knees go. And then reach that right arm out to the side. Breathing into the spaces in your body that feel the stretch, the spaces that need some love. I hope you are feeling as good as I am right now. Yoga is sanity. And release that. Come back to center. Hug those knees in. Really nice. Drop the feet back down onto the mat. We're going to take the right ankle across the left knee. Lift the left leg. Reach behind. Grab that thigh. Laying down pigeon pose. You should feel it on the outer edge of your thigh. If this is not enough for you, you can grab the shin. That's what I like to do. Gives me a little extra something. And drop it down. Just right away switch sides. Make sure that that top foot, so in this case it's the left, make sure that it's flexed. Okay, you want to make sure it's nice. You're protecting the knee. Grab behind that right thigh. Pull it in. For me, I like to grab the shin. I know some of you are super open in the hips, so do what you need to do so you feel the stretch. And release that. Hug both knees in. Last thing we're going to do before Shavasana, lever pose, stretch those legs up. Flex the feet, heels reaching towards the ceiling. If this bothers your back in any way, bring your hands underneath the small of your back like I just did. Okay, if it bothers your back at all. We're going to do 10 of them. So we're going to inhale, reach the legs up. Exhale, drop the legs down to hover. Inhale up. So that's 1. We're doing 10 of those. That's 2. Exhale down, up. That's 3. Exhale down. Inhale up. 4. You guys are doing great. Exhale down. Inhale up. 5. 6. Feel free to do one leg at a time if it feels like a lot. 7. That's 8 for me. Exhale down. Inhale up. 9. One more. Yay. Exhale down. Inhale up. 10. Hug the knees in. Oh, rock a little side to side. Those lever poses are hard work. I remember when I first did one ever in my whole life, I couldn't imagine ever being able to do them. So there's progress. You'll see progress along your own journey. Okay, so drop the feet back down. If you have lights on in your basement or den or wherever you are, close the lights. Try to make a little bit of atmosphere here for your Shavasana. Lay down on your mat, arms out to the side. Try not to be touching any props, if at all possible. Rock the head from side to side until it finds a natural resting place, and just take a body scan here and notice and feel all the points of contact with your mat. So the back of your head, shoulder blades, triceps, elbows, knuckles, sit bones, shoulder blades, calves, maybe thighs, and then heels. Just stay quiet, a little quiet breath for about a minute. Just allowing whatever thoughts enter your mind to just allow them to swirl around. Don't try to control. Okay, give in. Just allow it to be. Now slowly wiggle your toes. Now wiggle your fingers. Inhale the arms overhead. Point the toes. Nice spinal stretch here. Reach for the back of the room and the front of the room. And then hug both knees into your chest. Roll to your right side. Turn your forehead so that it's pressing against the floor or the mat. Stimulate your third eye. Take your left hand, press into the mat. Bring yourself to a comfortable seat, trying to keep your eyes closed as best you can. Sitting up nice and tall. Take a moment here, another body scan, head to toe. Notice and observing how you're feeling without any judgment or expectation. Just a passive observer. Oh, I feel more open. I feel more relaxed. I feel more energized. Nothing but good, nothing but positive, nothing but light and love. So inhale your hands together at your heart center in prayer position or Namaste mudra. Bow your chin towards your heart. Significant. Take a moment here to thank yourself for coming to your mat, for continuing on your yoga journey, for doing all that you do for yourself, for those in your family, for your community, for your friends. And I want to thank you for allowing me into your home to practice with you and be on this yoga journey with you. I wish you nothing but kindness and love, health and happiness. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a great day.